Hey everybody, thanks again so much for your patience this morning. So I found out what the cause was is that Infinite Campus did a pushed out an update last night, and when it did that, it deleted my Sandbox account. So right now I'm using my husband's account. It's good to be married to a teacher. So what I would have shared with you this morning was once we navigate to our gradebook. So if you're not sure how to get to the gradebook, when you first log in, there's a waffle looking guy here. And when you click on it, you have two choices. It's instruction or it's community. So right now I'm on the instructions tab. Right there's the little waffle guy. And I'm going to navigate to the gradebook. I want to click on settings. So the first thing you always have to do when you're setting up your gradebook is the grade calc options. So click on grade calc options. This is something that's just asking you to verify and letting you know that you are starting up your gradebook for the year. So you want to click continue. This was the grade calculation option. So we're going to ignore the progress report part and we're going to jump right down here to the quarter grade. So for each quarter grade, I want to select in progress and I want to select any CSD standards gradings. And if you use weighted categories, check the weighted categories so it turns it on. You have to go through and do this for every single quarter grade and for every single section that you have. So you have to make, so if you have 5 sections, you have to do it for 5 sections. If you're a phys ed teacher, you have to do it for like 20 sections. If you want to be fancy, up here under task, I can do quarter grade and I can, select this off and then just the quarter grades will pop up. So it might be a little bit easier for you. So there was a debate. You might want to just do it for quarter one because if we go back to school, we might have a new grading system and then you'd have to go in and undo everything you did, or do it the way we just did it here. Either way, it's a 50-50 shot. So, all right, so then you're going to click save. The next thing we did were categories. So again, under the settings tabs, click on categories. Right now there are no categories here, so on the bottom right, I'm going to click add. I'm going to name that category. So say this was homework. If I want to assign the weighted category, the 0 through 100 weight, for all of my sections, I can type it up here. Say I want it to be 75 and I hit section. The weight is 75. It'll populate for all of my classes, or I can go in and change it for specific classes. So if there's specific sections that have a different weight average for that category, you can do that as well. So I can click save. So now I have one category for homework. I'm going to add another section. This could be participation. I know we can't grade that, or maybe you do. Did I spell it right? And again, if you do this, it'll do the weight for all the sections. So maybe participation is 25, and then you can again go in and change the weight for specific classes. And again, click save. So now we are done with the categories. I'm going to go ahead and close this. I want to make sure that I'm in quarter one. I'm in the section that I want to add the grade, the assignment to, and that I'm in the task is quarter grade. I'm going to click add. So now this is to add an assignment. So my assignment name could be homework number 1. The abbreviation is whatever you like it to be. I do find it's helpful when I was saying to put in parentheses up here whatever you abbreviated the assignment name with. So now we're going to add it to sections. So when I click on add or remove, I can add sections and you can see them populating, or I can remove it if I did that by mistake. So I'm going to select OK. So it's going to go to these sections. If I use the calendar up here in the gray taskbar here, it'll mass assign it for the sections, which is kind of a nice feature. Or I can come down here and individually select due dates for specific sections. The category are what we created, so I'm going to leave it under homework. And then down here, you want it on quarter grade, and then the scoring type. We want to make sure that it's on marks, and we want to make sure that it is on any CSD standards grading 0 through 4, and we want to change the total point value to 4. Once I click save, It's now in my gradebook. If I want to stay on this page and add a bunch of different assignments, I would just come down here and click new assignment and it repopulates. I'm going to get out of there. So now I have one category, one homework assignment here. So I can go ahead and enter some grades for, the standard 43210. I can do the 0.5. I can do 1.5. I can do 2.5, 3.5. And I just want you to take note that in the percent column and the homework category column, all of the values are between 0 and 4. So if I come down here and try to put a 7 in, this percent jumps up to 175. So that is way above 4%. So you know something was wrong. If I do a 1.2, again, the percent is way above 4%. So that's just a quick catch to see if, to make sure that there's no typos in there. Change that back to a 1. I'm going to click save. The other part of the training that I didn't get to do with you was to talk about the seating charts. So on the left-hand side here, if you click on seating charts, the first time setting up the seating charts, you have to start with new. You select the section that you want to create the seating chart for. So what I found was to kind of write down my sections and what periods they were, and then name the seating chart by period. 5 by 5, it's telling me I only have 8 students, so if I do 5 by 5, I'll have enough desks. I'm going to have it place the students alphabetically, then I click create chart. So as you can see, it populates all the students here. I have to click save. And once I click save, report options ungraze. So report options, and then I can click picture, and I can click generate report. So this is sometimes nice to print out, to have with you. So even if you're out when we're back in school, to leave for substitutes. So there it is, and then I can just print it. So we're going to cancel out of there. If you like the way that this looks and you want to take attendance using this, I can show you how to do that. So we see all these blue, gold, 100% virtual, gold. So I guess they're dividing the kids when we go back hybrid. So in order to take attendance using the gradebook, using the seating chart, click on the person looking dude over here. We're going to click on account settings. And right here it says use seating chart for attendance. You would check that box on, click save, and now when we go to take attendance, it'll show up as it does on that sheet. So let's see, can I change this? I'm curious. Okay, so I can't demo that because we haven't really started school yet. So that was one thing, that was the grade book. I'm sorry, excuse me. That was the seating chart. So then down here under reports, you got a lot of different reports. There's 3 reports I want to draw your attention to. The blank spreadsheet. So if I click on blank spreadsheet, you can title it. So you can change the title here. You can change the number of columns, however many that you want. You can do portrait, landscape, shade. So a lot of different things you can do here. So you play around with it. Then click on generate PDF. So this is what it looks like, so that you could print this out and you could have this as a paper copy of your grade book. So while you're working with kids, you can take notes on it. You can make these lines a little bit wider so you can take notes on it. So that was one of my go-to reports. So blank spreadsheet, that was that one. The other one I'd like to show you is the section summary. So again, this was the only class that I had with some grades in there. And again, you can change, the options how you want. I usually do sort it randomly if I'm going to post this in my classroom or post it to Google Classroom. But if it's just for your purposes, you might want to leave it on student name. You can select the students that you want. Over here, you can select which quarters that you want. So since there's nothing in here, I'm going to deselect these. I'm going to generate the report. So what this does is it kind of shows you the student name, the assignment, the score, and then their grade. So obviously, the reason why I said do homework is just because the abbreviation is here. So it's kind of nice to know what the assignment was. And then that's the other report I want to share with you. If you want, since Google Classroom is not converting our grades the way we'd like to on the standard grading rubric, you can do this. So that was section summary. You can do student summary, but just make sure that you view it before you send it to them. So I like to make sure that it's on random. I'm going to display the student number, not the student name. You can make a comment here. Again, here's all your options. So once I click generate report, let's see, I'm going to deselect these so it's a little less crazy looking. So when I generate the report, so what you can do is you can download this and then upload this as a PDF to your Google Classroom. You'd have to share with the students, look for your ID number. So as I scroll through this document, the ID numbers are changing. And the student would be able to look for their ID number, and they would be able to see their assignment, the category, the due date, the points, and then their score right down here. And then what Infinite Campus is doing is it's converting that 3 up in this grade summary part to the 55 through 100 average. So the nice part about using Infinite Campus is your students will always know their numeric grade from 55 to 100. The most common mistake is that students open this document and they don't realize that their ID number may or may not be the first one, so just encourage them to scroll through the document. There is a way in Infinite Campus to combine rosters, so let's go back and take a look at that. If you don't want to combine any rosters or you're not an inclusion teacher, that was it. Thanks for your patience again this morning, and I hope you have a good first few weeks of school. So if you wanted to combine rosters, you're going to go back into settings and we're going to click on section groups. So I've already created a couple section groups here. So I'm going to go ahead and add another one. And so if this was my period 7 class, and I wanted to combine rosters, I would just scroll down on the list and select all of my 7th period classes. So if you had one for Gen Ed and one for inclusion, this piece over here, you can change the color of the students, and I'll demo that. So you might want to take advantage of that. And then I click save. And I will show you these and click close. So now up here, when I look at my section, instead of just having the sections that Infinite Campus populates, I have groups up here. So that group I just created was period 7. So if I open up that grade book, I have all of those classes, all of those students, and when I pick those different colors, you can see them showing right there. So again, it's kind of annoying that they don't alphabetize the sections together. They alphabetize each section by roster. So it's the first roster, then the second roster, and the third roster. But it is kind of nice when you are grading because you can have them all in one spot. You don't have to keep going through the different tabs. All right, please reach out if you need anything else, and we'll be in touch.